video, we will talk about exponents and perfect squares. An exponent is a number of times the base is repeated, and the base is a number that you actually repeat. So for example, if they were to give me 6 with the exponent of 2, we know that this is the base, and this is your exponent. So what the definition means is 6 is a number that I repeat. So I need the number 6, and that exponent tells you how many times to repeat it, and in this case, I need 2 of them. So I'll do 6 and 6. I have 2 6s, and then you multiply them together, so 6 times 6 is 36. A lot of times there is some misunderstanding. Sometimes a student will think that this means 6 times 2. That is definitely not the case. It means you take your base and repeat it that number of times. Let's try another example. Let's say we have 7 with an exponent of 3. This is my base. This is my exponent. And that means take your base, and I need to write the base 3 times. So I need 7, 7, 7, and in between them, I'm going to multiply. When I put 7 times 7 times 7 in my calculator, I will get 343. Again, be careful, it does not mean 7 times 3. The answer is not 21, but it is 7 times 7 times 7, which equals 343. Sometimes exponents have special names, or we like to give them fancy names. So sometimes, if you have a base with an exponent of 2, the little 2 is always called squared. Of course, we know squared units from when we're doing area. If you have a base that has an exponent of a 3, we like to call those cubed units. So you can either say 4 to the 3rd power, 4 with an exponent of 3, or 4 cubed. They all mean the same thing. With this, 3 to the 2nd power, 3 squared, or 3 with the power of 2, they all mean the same thing. Let's talk about perfect squares. Oh, let me go back to exponents real quick. Exponents with your calculator, you can either put it in like that, like we did, or there's a fancy button on your calculator that looks like this sometimes. So what you would do is you put 7, yx, and since the exponent was 3, I would put 3. And what the calculator is actually doing is it's computing it yourself, or itself. It's doing 7 times 7 times 7 by using that yx button. This button actually is a lot nicer if you remember to use it, because when you're doing this, if you put in one too many or not enough of the 7s, then your answer is incorrect. Now let's go ahead to perfect squares. Perfect squares are numbers that are to the 2nd power. So for example, 0 squared is 0. 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 4. You can probably kind of catch my drift. I can go 10 squared, which equals 100. Any number times itself is considered a perfect square. So how do I know if they give me a list of numbers if it is a perfect square or not? Let's say they give you 0, 1, 4, 6, 9. So I know 0 times 0 is 0, 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4. There's no number times itself that equals 6, and I know 3 times 3 is 9. So all of these are perfect squares because they all have a number that times itself equals that, and this one is not. That's one way. let me show you a way using the calculator. Let's put our numbers back up again. We had 0, 1, 4, 6, and 9. There's a button on your calculator called the square root button. It looks like that. What you do is put the number in your calculator, hit the square root button, and it gives you an answer. In this case, the square root of 0 is 0. The square root of 1 is 1. The square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 6 is 2 point a bunch of mess. Okay, a lot of decimals. The square root of 9 is 3. So in order to be a perfect square, you must have a whole number. If you get something with a decimal, that is not a perfect square. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for upcoming videos. Have a great day.